have to write this down. I don't know if I can. My hands are still shaking, even after... How long's it been? A week? The doctors at A&E said it was a panic attack brought on by acute stress and a mild overdose of an unknown hallucinogen. They asked me what I saw. I told them I couldn't remember. But I remember everything. I'm writing this because I have to make it real. I have to make it real. It was just the four of us. Maya, Tom, Ben, and me. First years at UCL, still finding our feet in this crushing city. And then there was Julian. He was in our classics tutorial. Posh, floppy hair, always wearing a signet ring he claimed was a Roman original. He was the one who invited us. It's Saturnalia, he'd said, propped up against the library wall. My society is hosting a reenactment. Full togas, proper food, unlimited free wine. It's a bit nerdy, right? But it's supposed to be brilliant. We thought it was hilarious. A nerdy toga party? We were so skinned that unlimited free wine was all we needed to hear. Ben especially was dead keen. He said, "We're going to a cult party." If only he knew. The building was somewhere near Bank. One of those massive neoclassical monsters you see in the city. All white marble and shadows. At 10 p.m. on a Saturday in December, the city was dead. Silent as a graveyard. But inside, it was alive. There were at least 100 people, all in togas and robes. Not cheap bedsheets, but heavy, expensive linen. The air was thick with incense and the sound of flutes. It was beautiful in a strange way. As we entered, a smiling woman in a white robe handed each of us one of those odd little clay cups filled with dark spiced wine. She said, "Welcome. We drink in honor of Saturn. No one is a slave tonight." The wine was strange. Sweet, but with this awful metallic aftertaste. I'm a total lightweight, so I only took a few sips, nursing it. Maya, my best friend, necked hers in one go and held her cup out for more. She said, "This is brilliant," she slurred, already laughing. Ben and Tom followed her lead. For the first hour, it was just odd. People were dancing, feasting, and being incredibly friendly. Too friendly. Their eyes were too bright. Then came the choosing of the Lord of Misrule. It was a game. They brought out a huge silver bowl filled with bronze coins. One coin, Julian explained, was marked with the sign of Saturn. And Ben, of course, was the one who drew it. They put a tattered crown of winter roses on his head and led him to a sort of throne, handing him a huge chalice. That's when I started to feel wrong. The flute music was getting faster, more frantic. The incense was making me lightheaded. I looked for Maya. She was dancing in the center of the room, her pupils so wide they'd swallowed her eyes. She was just spinning, a giggling, vacant smile on her face. "I don't feel right," I whispered to Tom. He just gave my shoulder a pat, his own speech thick. "Great. Don't worry, Anna." Then Julian was back. His friendly academic charm was just gone. His face was a mask, his eyes as bright and empty as Maya's. He said the king has been chosen. It's time for the true feast. He's requested his honored guests. He meant us. He and two other men in robes didn't ask. They guided us. Down, away from the party, through a heavy bronze door I hadn't noticed, and into a cold stone stairwell.
The music faded, replaced by a low, chanting sound. I said, "Julian, this isn't funny." "It's a great honor, Anna," he said, not looking at me. "You four are the final offering, the Sigillaria. The king gets to offer his closest friends to the father." We were in the foundations. It was not modern. The walls were ancient, rough-hewn Roman stone. It smelt of damp earth, rust, and something else, that sweet, coppery smell. We entered a chamber, a vault, really, but it was an altar, and they were already there. The inner circle. Ben was on the altar, our Ben, strapped down. He wasn't laughing. He was just staring at the ceiling, tears streaming silently down his face. Tom saw it and started to fight. "What the bloody hell is this, Ben?" The two men holding him didn't flinch. One of them just produced a syringe and slammed it into Tom's neck. He went limp in their arms. Julian said, "Don't fight. The god prefers you when you're relaxed." I screamed. I grabbed Maya's arm. "Maya, we have to go, now." Maya just turned to me, her head lolling. She giggled, that awful, empty sound. "The king is pretty, Anna. Pretty lights." A tall man with a golden mask raised a gladius, a Roman short sword. He began to chant in Latin. That's what snapped me out of it. The wine-eyed sept? I wasn't gone. Not like them. Adrenaline, pure and white-hot, just burned it all away. I didn't run. I threw Maya at Julian. He stumbled. I ran. I legged it right back up the stone stairs. I burst through the bronze door. The party was still going on. No one even looked up. They were all lost, dancing and riding. I legged it right through them, a ghost in my jeans and jacket. I slammed my hand on the fire exit bar and burst out into the night. The cold, clean 3 a.m. London air hit me like a physical blow. I fell to the pavement, and I was just sick everywhere. All that bitter wine. I don't know how long I laid there before I heard her. That high, awful giggle. The main doors opened. 2 robed men carried Maya out and just dumped her on the steps like a bag of rubbish. Then they went back inside, the great doors closing with a final booming thud. The police found us an hour later. Me, hysterical, and Maya sitting on the steps, humming to herself. Ben and Tom are gone. Missing persons. Their parents put up posters. And Julian, police learned, had officially transferred to a university in Rome 2 days before. And Maya? Maya's home. But she's not. She's in a private clinic, a home. The official report said she had a psychotic episode from an unspecified designer drug. She doesn't speak. She just sits and smiles. Except for yesterday. I was visiting her. It was snowing outside. She looked at me. Her eyes clear for just a second. She said, "Yo, Saturnalia." Then she just started to laugh.